ceramicists always say that pottery can break your heart a million ways because it really, through any stage of the process, something could go wrong. And it's up to you to you can choose to fix it if you want, or it's up to you, you can scrap it and start something new, which I really love the freedom of as well. Hi, my name is Karen. I'm in my 4th year of design, and my pronouns are she, her. So I started pottery in, I want to say like 3 years ago now. I took a pottery class at the City Art Center, and I loved it. It was just on a whim, and I loved working with my hands and learning something new. And then after that, I took a couple more classes at the City Art Center, and I eventually moved to a makerspace. So I am in a community makerspace now. I share it with a lot of other people, and it's been a really good way to just connect with people I never would have had the chance to talk to before, and share knowledge and just be a part of a really cool community. I kind of use pottery as a way to shift my design brain into another gear and to do something else. As we all know, design's very screen-oriented, and because we're all in school, there's usually a pretty strict process with how we get to our end product. And with ceramics, I find that I can just show up, not know what I'm doing, and kind of let my creativity take me wherever. The Willy Wonka's factory over here. I'm gonna measure.
Oh my gosh, she's doing the thing, she's flossing it.
Yeah, I think 550 is good. Sorry, I'm just gonna see. Oh. 535.
That's so fun.
550 and 550. Normally I'll do batches of 6 to 10 in one session, because you're always basically expecting 3 or 4 to not turn out in the whole thing, and then that way I can throw all of them one weekend, trim all of them and put handles on the next, get them fired, the next glaze, fired again, and then a month and a half later, hopefully, I'll have mugs. Okay. I think at that time I was doing my last pottery class through the City Art Center, and I was starting to get the feeling that I was outgrowing a class format. I wanted to have more creative freedom and kind of follow my own timeline. And then one day I saw an Instagram ad actually for, I'm at a makerspace called ENTS. It's the Edmonton New Technology Society. And they said, are you a ceramicist looking for a space? I followed the link and I thought, wow, this is perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And so I went and did a tour of the makerspace, and it was great. And then I've followed them to a couple different locations since. Okay, this is called wedging.
What is wedging?
Usually you need to do it more if you have a clay that's uneven moisture, but as I wedge, I'm making this spiral pattern, so I think it's the moisture and the texture of the clay gets more homogenized, because you want it to be pretty malleable. The stiffer it is, the harder it is to work with on the wheel. So then, that's one. What's really great about being in a makerspace is the shared tools, for example, the wheels and the kiln, but there are so many other things that a space like that just accumulates on its own that I find really useful. You could be digging through a drawer and find some sort of texture that you've never seen before, and that you could use it in your next project. With sharing the space with so many people, that definitely comes with its own challenges with keeping things organized, and sometimes your piece gets bumped and, but I'll take it.
Right.
Yeah, I love being there. So I'm starting to center it. You can tell, like the top, it's pretty flat, that's good. Sides, little wobbly. So I'm gonna start to squish the clay. Last week when I was throwing, super good, super easy to center, no problem. Some days, you can't center for shit. I mean, when I really think about it, there are some things that overlap. When I'm tackling a ceramics project, I do some sketches, I do mood boards and whatnot, and then I do some iterations and come up with my end product. So there is a little bit of overlap with the design process there, but I think my pottery brain feels a lot more free, and I don't think that I necessarily think of it as a way to influence my design practice. Yeah, it literally is just like, some days I'm really good at it, some other days I'm not so good at it. So this is one of the first pieces I ever made from my first pottery class, and I still use it pretty regularly, honestly, but it's so funny. Every time I use it, I'm reminded of how far I've come. Even just the maker's mark that I have on the bottom, mine today looks a little bit different from that. And you know what? Sometimes I'm tempted to be a little bit judgmental, like, oh, it feels really heavy, and oh, it's really rough. But then I see some of the newer pieces I've made, and it's really interesting to see how far I've come in terms of skill. Getting a little spooky there at the end. So you can see my hands kind of hesitated here, so now there's this little weird spiral. Oh, I pinched too hard. That's why. Got too eager to try to do it in 3. I should have done 4. Yeah, so like my hands, when I'm like throwing, I'm going like this inside the clay. I like go whoop and go up. And then in this middle part, I like pinched too hard. So I could either cut it off and have this really low mug situation, or I could just scrap it. And what I do is I just scrap it. Goodbye. Goodbye, mug. You were cool to shoot. It was for the content. Okay, mug number 2.
Stabilized. Is this all we wanted? Should we maybe?
Yeah, unless you want to completely contrast. Get out here.
Dude, what the f? Dude. We're live.
You can do it. Overthink it.
Oh.
Okay, that was too fast.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No.
Okay.
Oh, it's a, oh no.
Good thing about it being so this is how you learn.